Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me?
You know, at this point, I think it was many years ago, but I made a video talking about the new BACHMANN releases, and I remember saying I wanted a BACHMANN N-Scale Toad and an N-Scale Gordon to go alongside each other and pair up. And here we are many years later, we finally got that. Welcome to this video. Yes, probably one of my most anticipated models to ever come out from BACHMANN, especially in N-Scale, but probably in general too. We have the N-Scale Gordon, the only N-Scale Gordon to ever exist. Tomix did make an N-Scale Henry, which sadly I don't have anymore, but we do have this to make up for that. And I do believe BACHMANN is making an N-Scale Henry, or announced an N-Scale Henry earlier this year. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. But we also have, or just to focus on today, we have Gordon. And that's, I mean, I feel like that's enough. Let's just jump into this. Now, I've said in previous videos, we're not going to focus on the box too much, and we're not doing that in this video, but for those interested, it does say Gordon here on the side, and there on the back, it does look a little different. It has a little bit of a different layout because the box is significantly larger. We have a different picture of Thomas there, but it does say the normal stuff, like BACHMANN gives you a big window to Gordon there. I have customized my Gordon a little bit, and there's a piece of display track that sits under him because sometimes I just like taking pictures of him, but enough of that. Let's jump into the actual model. I feel like I'm talking a lot, and I probably am because I'm very excited to finally be doing this review, and here we go. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the N-Scale BACHMANN Gordon. And again, this is one I customized just a little bit. As you can see there, he does have a model series face, which needs to be adjusted just a little bit. There we go, a model series sleeping face. He's kind of tired, or maybe stoned, I don't know. Yeah, there's that. And we also have a I think it's a semi-gloss clear coat, which I added on top of him. I didn't make him matte this time. All the detail and lining is secured that way. I recommend doing that on pretty much any BACHMANN model because the lining here in small details like to rub off. But with that, it's a little bit more protected. And now let's just jump into this review because this is a model this is probably the best BACHMANN N-Scale model there is right now. Now, before anything, I think it's fair we start with the things I find a little bit weird, like the wheels here. Yeah, pretty much across the entire BACHMANN N-Scale Thomas range, no wheels have spokes, or really any extra detail. They're all molded in one piece that is also on the tender, and that's a little bit weird. You know, it's something that is a little bit noticeable on things like product images, but to be fair, when he's on track, I do think it's not as so, and that's thanks to shadows and things like that. But yeah, that should be noted. The pistons here are also not molded in full pieces, but I do believe that's a consequence of the CGI model, and this thing being largely based on that. It's also, for being such a large model, not very heavy, and there's pretty much, or practically no weight here in the tender. But let's get into the things I really do enjoy about this, and the tender is probably one of the larger things. So not only on the N-Scale tender did they make it actually accurate with the, you know, proportions there, the curvature there on the front, the way it dips in there on the back. This thing is pretty much spot on to how Gordon's tender actually is. But this also carries on to the locomotive, you know, besides the wheels and the piston there. And I guess you could say the side rods, they do look a little chunky, but this is N-Scale. I think that's a fine consequence. Besides that, they pretty much got everything right. The lining looks amazing. We do have molded handrails, but they do look, I mean, pretty good if you ask me. They're painted very well. We have safety valve and whistle detail there that I believe is separately fitted, but I'm not 100% sure there. It is at least painted gold, so it, you know, stands out. We've got lamp irons there at the front. We've got, you know, pretty much everything you would expect from an N-Scale Gordon. You know, this is pretty much just their HO scale shrunk down, but also made to look a bit more accurate. Like, here is the face it came with. If you like CGI, this is perfect. This is, I mean, it's not for me because I like model series, but I'm not going to act like this isn't spot on for what CGI Gordon is. So yeah, that's not even a modification you really have to do. I just happen to have the files from Rexecution, printed one, and now he has a sleeping face. We also have plenty of room in the cab there if you wanted to add, say, you know, figures, which is something I plan to do. Same there on the tenderfoot plate. A little bit of molding there, as you can see, on the top of the dome. That is something that's a little bit apparent, and I think they could have, I don't know, maybe found a way to hide a bit more, but I don't even know if you, yeah, there you go. In that lighting, you can really see it, but it took quite a little bit for that to even show on camera, so let that speak for itself. I think this is a very, very well put together model, and I think altogether I paid something like $110 for this before shipping, And that's really not that bad. I think that's probably the most expensive in-scale Thomas model in the range now, but it's Gordon. That makes sense. And there's really not a lot you have to do to modify this. If you want to change the face, you can, like I did. Besides that, it's pretty much perfect, and it looks amazing, and it does run amazing too. Now, speaking of running, I do want to say this thing also isn't the strongest. You'll see that when I put it on the layout or Farquhar. It doesn't like inclines very much, and that's because this thing, it does not have traction tires, as you can see there. So sadly, my layout is not the kindest to it, but with that being said, it's still a beautiful model, and he can still pull a few more cars than Thomas or Percy can up the hill. I just kind of wish he had traction tires for that price, and that would definitely improve the performance. So yeah, on the chance you want a tiny model of Gordon, I'd say this thing is perfect. There's really not a lot to critique that you couldn't say about any other in-scale model from Bachmann Thomas. The wheels, I guess the piston. That's really the only, and maybe the size. If you put this next to Thomas, he is kind of an absolute unit. He's kind of a fat fuck. I didn't make the rules. That just is what it is. And with that fact, you would think, again, he would weigh a little bit more, but that's okay. I mean, look at this. One Rexecution's face made it look this good. I think that's pretty, and you know, a semi-gloss clear coat, but that's, if you wanted to add that, you could do matte clear. I just did that to make this one a little bit different and to also match Thomas. Yeah, I think that's enough about that. This model is a at least 9 out of 10, if you ask me. And I'm sorry if I sound a little bit weird here. My throat is not on my side today. It hurts a little bit. So with all that being said, let me shut up. That has been the Bachmann in-scale Gordon review. Not gonna lie, I was kind of just excited to show this guy off and talk about him. And with all that being said, let's get him on the tracks. Stop looking at me like that. You're weird. Go away.
Vira de pássaro que não sabe puxar. 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 Vira de pássaro que não sabe. sabe puxar. Vira, vira de pássaro que não sabe puxar. Vira, vira de pássaro que não sabe.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.